When I drink coffee, this is weird. When I drink coffee, I want to sleep. And it's something to do with energy drinks. In that when I drink the energy drinks specifically, right, I get the energy I need. When I was driving to Detroit to visit my brother, from Virginia to Detroit, I I I took off 5 p.m. from Virginia, and I was supposed to arrive in Detroit by 3 a.m. Right, so I was on the road, was driving, everything was fine. All I was drinking throughout this whole road was just water, right? Nothing else, just water. I felt fine, wasn't tired, wasn't sleepy, nothing like this. 1 hour left to drive. It's what 2 a.m. now. I stop at the rest area, right? And there was a Starbucks, and I called my brother. We just talked a little bit, and he's like, "Hey, man, you only have 1 hour left. Give a shot to this espresso. Like, go to Starbucks and tell them you want two double shots of espresso."
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, okay, I want to give it a shot. Maybe this espresso thing will change my mind with caffeine itself.
Yeah.
So I go to Starbucks. I get 2 of those shots. I pop them, right? Get back in my car. And at that time at 2 a.m. I have literally 50 minutes left to drive. Felt just fine before that coffee. Get in the car, fall asleep for 3 hours.
Oh wow!
And then when I woke up, the drive to Detroit, the remaining 50 minutes, man, that felt like a drag of a lifetime. I don't get the benefits from coffee itself, and it makes me sleepy. I can drink it at nighttime, and it could be my NyQuil to fall asleep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Why? It's the same caffeine, right? It's like, at the end of the day, it's like the caffeine that you're getting from an energy drink is probably the same caffeine that you would be getting from a coffee.
I guess it's probably the other ingredients that they add on the energy drinks.
Possible.
How do you feel on caffeine? Say you just drink coffee itself. How do you feel? Do you feel the same as you would feel on the energy drink?
Marginally. I mean, I feel like for me to feel the effects, I probably have to go a couple of days without coffee to actually be able to feel the same way I felt. Well, like for instance, first time I had coffee in my life, because I do remember. I think I started drinking coffee on a regular basis around 2015, 2016, and it was just like one of those perks at work where like there's a free coffee machine, you can drink whatever coffee you want. And you know me, I'm a cheap fuck, so whenever something is free, I just take it, even if I'm not actively a consumer. So yeah, like I got into coffee, like started drinking a lot of it, and I remember like those first couple of days, man, it was just like you could feel the caffeine running through your veins. You could feel it kick in, and now these days it's almost like it's a must. It's like every morning you wake up and like you're a little cranky in the morning, and I feel like it's a sign of withdrawal symptoms, because in a sense you're sleeping at night and it's kind of like a fast, and you're not eating, you're not drinking. So when you wake up in the morning, like you've gone 8 or 9 hours or however long without the drug that you take on a regular basis to sustain yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, these days, like I definitely feel the effects. Like I feel myself waking up, but I don't feel the same kind of rush that I usually would feel like 5 or 6 years ago.
But your dosage has increased when it comes to
coffee. Oh yeah, absolutely. A couple of cups a day, easy. I do try to keep myself disciplined though. Like I don't drink coffee in the late afternoon, because I do feel it messing with my sleep for sure. But even then, like sometimes I'm willing to bend those rules depending on like the kind of week that I'm having. For instance, this week I would drink Monster after as late as like 4 or 5 p.m. And I usually wouldn't do that. But then again, like we would go to sleep at like 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. So
there's another new energy drink that has joined the energy drink market.
Oh, a bunch of them.
A bunch of them actually. Everyone is trying to capitalize on it. Everyone is trying to get their share while the market is hot.
Yeah.
And The Rock has his energy drink, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's called.
Yeah,
I tried it a couple of times. It's like a zero sugar drink, but
it doesn't taste the same.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the same effect.
Well, it wakes you up. It definitely does, but caffeine is still caffeine. I guess like I tried it a couple of times. Like it was okay. But again, I find it interesting that like you got like these like dominant players that have like 70% of the market, but then there's still room for all these different celebrities and different influencers to launch their own brands. So I guess it's not that difficult to set up an operation and start an energy drink business.
Mm. And they just put it under different guys, right? Like what's his name? The Rock pushes it as a natural energy drink. And then guys like Jocko,
organic,
guys like Jocko, they push it as I don't know, like the energy you need to save. You know how he wakes up at 4 a.m. Energy you need to wake up at 4 a.m. Like everyone adds their own touch.
Yeah, just a little personal branding thing.
Yeah.
Well, one brand that I do find interesting is Celsius.
Celsius.
Yeah, because if you think about it, the direction that Monster and Red Bull took is pretty much the same in that they have this like aggressive marketing of like they're trying to build this like image of aggression, right? It's like extreme sports, like really like hyper masculine in it, almost in a sense, like your UFC if you think about it. And for the most part, I think the target audience for Monster and Red Bull has been predominantly has been men. Red Bull and Monster are pushing this really like hyper masculine, really aggressive image to the masses. And you and I, in a sense, we like initially when we came across these brands, we were kind of like taken aback, right?
Yeah,
just like a little intimidated by this. Like, oh yeah, like what's this obscure like brand that's pushing this like really aggressive image to the public that like kind of represents the bikers and all the like all these like rockers and like extreme people. What would be, I guess, the like a more consumer friendly brand?
And I guess that's where Celsius.
Yeah, I guess that's where Celsius comes into play because they come in and like you look at their like packaging. Like, have you seen like Celsius in the fridges? Like, have you tried it?
Yeah, I have. It's like the labeling is very gentle, subtle, minimalistic.
Yeah. And how would you describe the flavor? Like, how do you like it? If you were to rank it against Monster, Red Bull, how do you feel?
It definitely doesn't give you that flow of all these different tastes, right? It's just very mild, very consistent, and
like sugary, sweet.
Yeah. Like
it's got like fruit flavors.
Yeah.
I was struggling actually. The other day, I was thinking to myself, like, how would I describe the Monster flavor or Red Bull flavor? Like, think about it. Like, what fruit would you use to describe it?
There isn't one really. Yeah. But if we had to pick a fruit, would it taste like orange? It's acidic.
It definitely does have like a bit of a sour, acidic flavor, but it's not as sweet as oranges. Yes. It does have like a bit of a citrusy flavor, but it's almost like a citrus from another planet that you haven't tried yet.
Yeah. What fruit would you say Celsius?
That's the thing about Celsius, that they like have a very wide selection of like all these different flavors, and they're pretty straightforward. Like cherry, and like I think they have like even a Coca-Cola flavor, or like not like Coca-Cola, but like more like Coke flavor. And all these like other fruit flavors. But again, that's what makes it mild, I guess, is that when you open it up, like you know exactly what you're getting. So it's a more describable, more predictable flavor.
Yeah, there's no promise of like this insane energy to get from the group.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly give you wings, but it wakes you up.
They're not going after the same demographic, I would guess, right?
Well, like, how would you, like, when you think about people who buy Celsius, like, would you consider yourself the kind of person that would drink Celsius? And if not, like, who do you imagine when you think about like Celsius?
Celsius, I'd probably say someone who is in the office environment or needs to say write some emails, work, get the job done, get his work done in Starbucks somewhere. Get Celsius. Girls, most likely.
Right, because like it doesn't have that like monster.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe 10, 15% guys, and then 85% women.
That's actually a pretty interesting observation because again, it's almost like Monster and Red Bull like really lean into the male audience, right? Like it's like man, drink Monster, Red Bull. But Celsius is more like when I think about a typical consumer. Like, again, I think about I don't know, like a young woman who probably works in the office, probably like actively works out, either like Soul Cycle or like yoga.
Where's Lululemon?
Where's Lululemon? Yeah, like very health conscious. So 0 sugar, it's perfect, and it also has like very predictable flavors. So it's not like it doesn't have this like really weird like flavor of Red Bull or Monster for that matter. You want to get cherry, you get cherry. Like you want to get sour apple, you get sour apple. So if we were to launch our own energy drink,
if we were to launch,
this is just the dumb question of the week, so to speak. To wrap up the episode, what would we call our brand, and who would we go after?
If we were to launch energy drink,
yes, right? Yes.
Well, what would we call it, and who would we want to target?
Yes. It's like if you were, and you know what? Let me actually make it even more broader. If you were to invent the perfect energy drink, the kind that would suit you perfectly, is Monster and or Red Bull it? And if not, like what would you change about it?
No, definitely not. I would change. What I would change, I mean, again, I have no experience when it comes to these different ingredients. I have no experience in what's that? Any experience when it comes to energy drinks and how it's manufactured, how it's labeled.
Yeah.
But if I were to create my own, I would do a really deep research on all these different ingredients.
Yeah.
And I would make a list of all the ingredients that are natural that give you the same effect as these energy drinks give. Something similar to rock, but I think he doesn't have some of the natural ingredients that give you this this rush of energy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why his energy drink tastes very mild, and even the name itself, Zoa. You know what I mean? It's not like, it sounds like something you would drink when you're at the beach in Hawaii or something, right? You wake up early in the morning, or you want to head out from beach, you want to pop it real quick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of the ingredients probably be taurine, right? Like the one that is in Red Bull, beta-alanine, the thing that gives you this itchy feeling. You know, the ones that is like really predominant in pre-workouts.
Yeah.
That
nootropics
for sure. Some mushrooms, like natural, right? You know, the ones that give you lion's mane, right?
Yeah.
The ones that give you put you in that state of focus on whatever you're doing. So that way, now that we know, right, there's a leak when you drink caffeine, right? There's a leak of your attention. You do this, you do that, and it's very sporadic.
Yeah.
And if you add some nootropics, you add some lion's mane, that might prevent some of that leakage, and might just make you a better individual at like sticking to something until you finish it.
Yeah.
That, and then what else? Probably add iron in it. as an ingredient because iron is like really healthy, right? A lot of people. Okay, speaking from experience, when I drink energy drinks, I really get cold feet, I get cold hands, and I don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
And if you throw in the, I don't know how many people feel the same, but if you throw in the iron, that could prevent some of that feeling of, you know, feeling cold hands and feet. Yeah, so probably add those ingredients, man. Other ones as well. I'm not sure what they're called, but I'm pretty sure they're a bunch of the ones for like brain.
But I guess when you imagine a person, a typical person who would consume this, what would they look like, and what would they usually consume it for?
Okay, what would they look like? They would look like someone who is in their mid 20s, early 30s, someone who has his life put together, right? Someone like not really who hasn't really made it yet, but is in that process of trying to make it, right?
Yeah.
Who always wakes up, grinds throughout the day, wakes up early in the morning.
Yeah.
Who is in, could be any industry, could be finance industry, could be IT, who's into sports, primarily swimming, workouts, right? Running, marathons.
Yeah.
Those, not those crazy sports like what was that, like jumping off a cliff or something.
Yeah, cliff diving.
Yeah. Maybe someone who's also into like soccer.
So I guess a moderately athletic, young people, working professionals.
Working professionals, yes.
Like white collar working professionals.
White collar?
White collar as in, you know what white collar means?
I know blue collar is like the ones that work in that.
Yeah. White collar is like offices. So office workers.
Doesn't have to be office. It could be even like, could be even some guys who like, because again, you grinding doesn't really have to be in the office, right? You could be grinding, working in a restaurant or something.
Yeah.
But as long as it's someone who values his time and tries to make the best out of himself, right?
Yeah.
That who does not compromise his values and his standards for cheap dopamine
boost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good brand that I would definitely consider.
Maybe 6-figure discussions, energy drink coming soon.
You beat me to it. Coming soon.
Okay, what about you?
But I think you got most of it. And honestly, like the only thing that I can probably like think about is just in terms of the taste. I would also try to go the direction of Monster and Red Bull, where instead of going with the traditional flavors of your conventional fruits, like, oh yeah, it's like pineapple flavor, it's like mango flavor or whatever, I would instead try to create some kind of a unique flavor and hope that eventually over time it becomes almost like a differentiator. Because I'm sure like a lot of the like energy drinks out there, like you can have like a cherry flavored energy drink if you want, or like apple flavored, but it doesn't have to be that specific brand.
Yeah.
Because like there are multiple brands out there that like do that. But then what if you want an energy drink that tastes like Monster? Mm-hmm. Who else can give you that other than Monster? And I think that's the exact reason why Monster and Red Bull control 70% of the market. Because nobody else can give you that taste that you get from them. And they've been pushing that taste, and it's become like an acquired taste among the population after decades of aggressive marketing, and just a very quality, like a high quality product.
So you would experiment with different flavors, right? Say instead of going with traditional apple flavor, you would probably mix apple with, say, kiwi, or like something like this, right? Yeah. Where you would create your own unique flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we could call it Top G.
Top G.
Year and launched, and you know how they have like in some energy drinks have established in right?
Yeah.
And then the year we do established in year 1 AD, and then the brackets.
Anno tam Gini. Nah. If we're gonna keep it like to our brand, we might as well call it the Dong Juice. Noche Dong Juice.
Sip our Notre Dame Kool-Aid.
Noche Dong Kool-Aid.
Some of the takeaways for today's podcast. Number 1, we were all a bunch of sheeple paying attention to Amazon, Facebook, and Google. This tiny company, Monster Energy Drink, just did their job low key.
Don't be too harsh on us, bro. In 2000, what were we? We were like 5, 6?
No,
if I could travel back in the past and like come to my like a 5-year-old, hey, buy Monster.
No, if you are like what? If you were in your 15s, 20s, at the time when Monster launched, and you never invested in the company, I have a real question for you, man. What's your problem?
Yeah, why you not like energy drinks?
Why, like, okay, seriously, why did you not invest in Monster Energy Drink? Did you not? Was it because lack of a knowledge? Was it because you weren't interested in investing? Or 3, or did companies like Amazon, Google, and Facebook just captured your whole attention?
Yeah,
throughout that time.
Yeah.
So salute to Monster Energy Drink. Like the flavor, everything tastes great. Industry itself is projected to continue to grow year over year for the next 5 to 10 years, right? In high single digits.
Yeah, and I have a belief that it's gonna continue growing because people are gonna continue drinking energy drinks. But that's us. We like energy drinks.
But I guess energy drink market is not as prevalent in third world countries, right?
Doesn't mean that it won't be. Because as people shift to productivity, increasing productivity, I think people will look for more ways to stay productive.
That just being mindful of the amount of caffeine we consume throughout the day, and coffee in general. Some people, I guess, have different reactions to it.
Yeah.
I have no reaction. You like coffee.
Yeah.
We both like energy drinks. Yeah, man, but really just let that sink in. One penny, $100 invested 20 years ago would have turned into 100,000.
No, I think the takeaways were good. The takeaways were good, and this one is not the kind of a conversation where we're trying to teach somebody something or like come away with some kind of conclusions. I think it's just coffee is a very dominant part of our lives. It moves us in a lot of different ways, and it's interesting to watch how our coffee consumption changes over the years. And the energy drink story is a big part of it. That is very personal to us, especially given that our consumption of caffeine is predominantly through energy drinks. So it's a very interesting industry to watch. But it's also just very interesting to watch yourself and watch others as we consume caffeine. Like, how is that going to change over the years? And how is that going to affect us in the long term?
Yeah. One other takeaway for me personally is every time news networks like CNBC talk about your everyday stocks, right? Like what Facebook, Amazon, Google. Nothing against them, but that probably means we should be looking at something else. And maybe that's where we could find those gems, right? Given we do enough research. Because we don't know. There could be another monster like a company, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be an energy drink.
Yeah. And the thing about it, but one interesting thing that I heard from a portfolio manager that I spoke to once, that invests at a big asset management firm, is that he likes to tell me that whenever he sees a company that he's invested in on CNBC or one of those news networks, it's usually a signal to him that it's probably time to sell. And the reason why is because by that time, like the company and like the stock has become such a household name that there's like so much hype behind it that it's essentially fully priced into the price, fully priced into the existing valuation on the market. Because when you have few eyes watching the company, chances are that people don't really appreciate it because they're not looking at it.
Yeah.
But then when you have millions of eyes on a single company, chances are that they're all able to digest the information and they're all able to arrive at a certain consensus as to how much that company is going to be worth.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's kind of too late to invest in it if you're looking for significant returns, right?
Yeah.
And in case of Monster, I think like as early as 2015, 2016, Monster started becoming like this really like hot stock on like CNBC and all those news networks because of the fact that like it was just like rising so fast. But then by then, you were not buying at 1 cent per share. Like it was kind of already late. So at that point, you were still buying a great company. And if you buy it today at $100, you're still buying a great company. It's just you're not going to be making the same kind of crazy returns because you're not there first. It's kind of like Jordan Belfort in his like the phone sales pitch in Wolf of Wall Street when he's like, by the time you hear about it in Wall Street Journal, it is already too late. So if it's got so much hype that like even retail investors are talking about it, then yeah, it's probably like already like high enough.
Yeah.
In terms of its price.
Yeah, man, but this episode was really interesting. Something to look forward to with energy drink market itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, if you enjoyed this episode, enjoyed the show, make sure you drop your comments. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you spread it. I had a joke there. Okay, forget. Make sure you share with everyone who would be interested with this type of content as much as you've enjoyed this. Spread the message. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Again, subscribe. Subscribe to our channel. We're gonna be popping. Please. We're gonna be dropping content like this every other week coming at you. We are more active on Instagram because we'll be dropping reels. We'll be dropping memes, stories. Make sure you watch.
Please.
What we post out there.
Please.
With that out of the way. Yeah, you have something to say, man. Why you never say anything? Say thank you. They probably watch like 9 episodes and be like, man, this guy Tam never said.
Well, I have one thing to say, and it's Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Top you bless.
Dun 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 dun.